Hey, you're not doomed to be a short hitter forever. In fact, I've taken many students who were short hitters when I met them and turned them into what you'd call long bombers, at least long for their age. So you're talking about somebody who's 60, 70, 80 years old. If you can get somebody like that to hit the ball out there over 250, I definitely consider that to be a long bomber. So right after this, let's take a look at a video that a newer student of mine did the other day to show you all the basic characteristics of what makes a short hitter and how we can fix them and turn you into the longest bomber you can be. You won't believe the difference. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. If you get some value out of this, I hope you consider hitting like and subscribe and sharing it with a friend who might also need help with their distance. All right, so here's a video of one of my newer students. His best driving attempt is approximately 70 miles an hour clubhead speed, so really, really low. And his best drive for distance is about 185 yards. So really, really lacking in both speed and distance. Remember that 185 yards was best effort. His average is much lower than that because he also hits the ball pretty badly sometimes. So distance challenge, it's so much that it's affecting his score, and he has the typical traits of what you might see in someone who hits the ball this far. Let's take a look. All right, so the first thing you're gonna see here is, although he makes an incredibly nice shoulder turn, more than 90 degrees, which is exceptional for someone well into their 70s, but you can see he's leaving a lot on the table by not cocking the wrist very much, maybe only 30 or 40 degrees. So once he's able to get the wrist cocked to 90 degrees or more, from here to here, I would estimate it's an easy 15 or 20 yards. So let's cash that in. Next, you see that the left hip only advances in the downswing maybe about 1 inch. We'd like that to be 5 to 7 inches. Now in his case, he's got narrow hips, so he's gonna be more of a 5-inch lateral shift in order to step down on the left heel and complete the pivot. But he only goes about 1 inch, and therefore the throw mechanism would drive him back on his back foot if he were to even have one. But you can see because of this, it's not allowing him to turn his torso very much, and so his arms will fly by. And he'll end up in the chicken wing position without a lot of extension through the ball. Now the third thing you're going to see is how the right forearm and the shaft line up in a straight line at about 2 o'clock. So rather than that club getting whipped around to a 90-degree angle, you see he's way short of that. So the club head in the same amount of time has traveled many less circle feet around him. And this is simply because he is not utilizing the wrists to snap or throw or whirl the club and pick up lots of acceleration. But instead, his action simply accelerates the handle, which actually causes this to be able to accelerate as well. So remember, what we're looking for here is about a 180-degree range of motion around the wrists, all while the handle end of the stick, trying to get that to actually slow down, and that will really give an added boost to your club head speed. So not being able to shift over is costing him another 15 to 20 yards, and not snapping the club head free through the full wrist range of motion and extending is another 20 to 30 yards. So let's add that up. Potentially we've got a minimum of 50 yards here. Possibility that it's 60 or 70 yards. Now I understand, this sounds so incredibly far-fetched that someone in their 70s could actually pick up 50 yards or more. So his best effort might go from 180 up to 230. Now, what a difference. Now from the white tees, all of a sudden, he will be able to reach all the holes in regulation comfortably, and that will be an enormous reduction in his average score. But he'll have a lot more fun as well, you can imagine. Now, will it be possible for him to go from 180 to 250? Well, the future will tell. It won't happen overnight, and it's going to be a grind for him to get there. But I've seen it done before. It is possible. I have students who have gone from 180 to over 250 yards in their 70s. We worked on a couple of these things during our last session, worked on the wrist cock and the snapping into a whoosh sound, and he was able to go from a 70-mile-an-hour swing to 3 consecutive dry swings without a golf ball. It's the first step, where he recorded 83 miles an hour. Now at 83 miles an hour, you can knock a golf ball out there, probably a little over 220 yards if everything lines up, launch, spin, contact, all lines up. You can net over 220 yards. Now, doesn't mean he can do it on a golf ball yet, but that's your first step, is building the speed without a golf ball. Keep this in mind. I will update you when he makes more progress, and it should be fun to watch. Hey, give these tips a try. I think you're gonna see that you have far to go to reach your potential, and you're gonna have a lot more fun being that long bomber in your group. I'm Steve, thanks for watching, and as usual, I'll either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.